people, any people, to fill the void in Afghanistan. And you folks here are all the unmarried, childless personnel in this bureau.
I wanted to ask you what your initial thoughts on the movie was, but specifically having a screenwriter come in and adapt your memoir in your story.
I agreed when I sold the rights to this book that, I sort of had the feeling like, just walk away. Trust that you've given it to smart, funny people, and don't look over their shoulders all the time, because I had no control over it. I mean, in signing away the rights, they can do whatever they want to the character of Kim Barker and to the book. And Robert met a lot with me. He talked to other journalists who were over there, military, and, just wanted to do justice to Afghans, to the military, to the journalists, and to the story. So yeah, there's fiction in there. And so when I was first watching the movie, I knew there would be fiction, and I hadn't read the screenplay yet, and I was just like, okay, that didn't really happen. I'm sort of doing my journalist thing on it. Well, that's not true. Well, that happened to somebody else. And so the first time I watched it, the first half of the movie, I was pretty much watching it with one eye and thinking those thoughts. And then I just sank into the story and was really happy with what they did with it. I think they're true to the narrative arc of the book and to the core of the book, and the humanity of it, right? The relationship that really is the core of the movie is the one that's the core of the book, which is the one between me and an Afghan, and it's not romantic. He's my fixer, he's my translator, he's my paid best friend.
One of the scenes in the movie that killed with Canadian audiences is whether or not the one security guard was actually Canadian.
Right. I bet that killed here.
It did.
Yeah, I mean, I know, I laughed out loud at that. And I met him on set, and he was like, oh, tell me, did a lot of people have security guards over there who, were from Canada or America, and they acted like they were from New Zealand? And I just looked at him, because I hadn't read the script, I go, I don't know what you're talking about. I was a print journalist. I didn't even have a security guard. But it was so funny.
The movie was shot in New Mexico and Albuquerque. Did it sort of live up to what Kabul and Afghanistan and Pakistan was?
Well, yeah, I mean, they cut out Pakistan from the movie altogether, much to Pakistan's chagrin, I'm sure. But Afghanistan, it looks like Kabul. And they got a great cinematographer over in Kabul to do a lot of B-rolls. So when you're going through the streets there, that is actually Kabul. And then they built some sets in New Mexico so that you can actually see people going into these compounds. And it looks very realistic, except, of course, for the airport. Because people see the movie and they're like, that airport looks really horrible. That looks awful. And I'm like, oh my God, it was so much better than it actually was in real life.
Really?
Yeah. When I first went to Afghanistan, that airport was like at this bombed out shell, that had no power. And like for a long time, there was no such thing as a baggage claim. They would sort of there was a baggage claim like sort of circle, but it didn't run because there wasn't power. So they would take the bags and they would just put it on the baggage claim, and you'd have to go grab your bag.
Now, there's obviously a U.S. election coming up, and
Sure.
I wanted to know and get your thoughts and opinions on how a new administration would change or affect foreign correspondence with Afghanistan and the Middle East and Pakistan.
I think the whole sense of what's going on in Afghanistan is everybody just wants out, and things aren't getting better there. You've got 10,000 American troops still there training the Afghan security forces, and at the same time, you've got ISIS coming in. I just hope that the country has enough time to get some stability that it can actually, keep growing and not go back into a bad direction.
For those of you who are behind the scenes, there are opportunities to be on camera. Kim, are you going to be joining in?
The travel or the crying?